So I promised to answer any and all questions, and I got this question in response to the video, and I tried to respond just online, but you're only allowed 150 words, so I figured I would just make a video. And the question is, I've been interviewing people about their jobs. I have found nothing that seems for me, though. I'm turning 17 and still have many doubts in my mind. Should I go to university or college? What is my passion? I don't know what to do. So, the first thing I want to say is so much kudos, props, attaboys to you for actually interviewing people. You have no idea how many people I have coached who I send away with an action plan and I follow up with them, or they come back to me later and they haven't done anything so much as talk to someone. So the fact that you're doing that is amazing. Keep it up, and I know you'll figure it out eventually. And if any of you are watching this and you haven't actually interviewed somebody yet, go do it. But I can hear that you are still really, really frustrated. And I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, celebrate the fact that you have found things that you know now you don't like or you don't want to do. So keep a running tally of that. Here are things I know I don't want to do. That is almost as important as figuring out what you do want to do. Acknowledge that that is something to celebrate, that that's a win. The second thing I would say is when you're talking to someone and they say something about their job that you go, that doesn't sound like fun to me. That doesn't sound like anything I'd be interested in. To ask them, do you know of any job where I don't have to do that? Especially if it's in a sector or in an industry that has sounded somewhat interesting to you, people will be really forthcoming, and somebody who's in that sector or industry is the best person to ask, is there something within this where I don't have to do what you just talked about? And use that as a resource. Use that as a jumping off point. All interviews should just open more doors. Never leave an interview, especially if you didn't get from it what you wanted. Never leave an interview as the door closed. Always ask them for a follow-up. Is there someone else I can talk to? That's a really good way to keep yourself on the scavenger hunt, keep yourself on the trail. But the second thing I wanted to really address is your question about what is my passion? And I know I already wrote a little bit about this, but I wanted to explain further what I meant in my saying that passion is a really heavy word. I think it gets overused, and it can be really misleading. I think passion is like, you just envision something that's just going to take hold of you and light you on fire and carry you all the way through your life, and that's a lot to ask from any one thing, and in looking for that kind of, soulmate love with a job before you can do anything, it's just the wrong way to go about it. So, set aside passion. And the other thing I think that we can do with passion is, we think our passion has to be really noble. I know I fell into that trap of, I want a noble passion where I'm passionate about helping, people in developing nations with terminal illnesses. That seems like such a noble passion, but if that's not genuinely something you're really interested in, you're fooling yourself. So consider, instead of thinking about passion, consider thinking about fun. And you, that really can be a cue. And it can be anything. It can be paintballing or gardening or, just being outside. What sounds fun to you? And a lot of times I ask people this question, like, what sounds fun to you? And they're like, oh, I don't know. But the second I start talking about their interests or what they read in their spare time or, their favorite movies, that kind of thing, their face lights up. And that's what I want you to look for, is that just automatic reflex sensation of, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. And that can lead you. That leads you. That reflex response of, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun, is a huge red flag. This is it. You are very, very warm once you hit something like that. And maybe you don't know how to turn that into a job or an occupation yet, but I mean, especially since you're 16 going on 17, the more time you spend in that, oh my gosh, it sounds like so much fun sphere, you might be able to invent or figure out how it is that you can be paid for doing what that is. As for the should I go to university or college question, I think that my response to this is going to be the same for anything that anyone does, which is yes, as long as you know why you're doing it or what you're doing it for. If you have decided on an occupation and you're going to be trained and you know that that's why you're going, awesome. Yes. If you are still confused, but you know that you're going to spend your time in university becoming more clear and taking every course that sounds interesting and actively talking to the professors and getting internships and taking amazing trips abroad to try and clarify what it is that you actually enjoy, again, yes. If you're just going because you're confused and you're hoping that you'll just roll around inside college and university and somehow you'll get unconfused without kind of having that active intention of, I am here as a way of being in a test tube to experiment and explore everything that university and college can offer to you, don't go if it's just purposeless and meaninglessness and you just, hope some savior is going to sweep in and say, here is the way. So, yes, if you go to college and you continue to interview people the way that you have been and you're signing up for clubs or taking courses that sound like fun, like just genuine fun, whatever that is, whether it's Zen painting or, I don't know, some kind of PE ski class, that's what you want to be doing. So I hope I have kind of continued to answer your question. Look for the fun. Look for the fun. Look for people who look like they're having fun doing things that you think looks like fun. And I know you'll figure it out. The fact that you sense that there's something out there for you means that there is. If you didn't sense that there was anything out there, then you'd be in trouble. But the fact that you're like groping around in the dark a little bit means that there is something out there that's calling to you. And I know if you continue to be this active and persistent, you'll figure it out.